All right, so today we're going to do something a little different. We're heading to a small village in India where a single ancient temple might just hold the secrets of the entire universe, literally encoded in stone. And this whole incredible story starts with something so simple. A group of local students, just playing around in their village of Ippili, stumble upon a stone with some ancient writing on it. And that little spark of curiosity, well, it set off a chain of events that revealed a story so much older and deeper than anyone could have ever imagined. And that really brings us to the big question we're tackling today. How on earth can one small, unassuming temple contain all of this? I mean, layers of history, mythology, and even cosmology. It sounds impossible, right? Well, let's find out. So our investigation has to start with that very first clue, the one the students found, that inscribed stone. It was like the first thread in a massive ancient tapestry, and once they pulled it, the whole thing started to unravel. So once archaeologists got a look at this stone, they realized it was a royal decree dating all the way back to the 12th century. It was a record of a land grant given to the temple by a pretty powerful king from the Eastern Ganga dynasty. This was huge. It was the first piece of solid proof of the temple's historical importance. Now, here's what's really interesting. The king's donation was in the 12th century, yeah? But what that actually tells us is that the temple was already ancient and important long before he showed up. This plays it smack in the middle of the timeline of the mighty Kalinga Empire, a civilization that goes back centuries before the Common Era. So we're talking really, really old here. Okay, so the history is just the first layer of this onion. To go deeper, we have to look at the temple's very unique name, Pippaleswara Swami. I mean, what does that even mean? What's the story hiding in the name itself? So the name itself is a massive clue. Pippalar refers to the sacred peepal tree, and Ishwara is another name for Lord Shiva. Put them together and you get the Lord who resides under the peepal tree. But this connection between the god and the tree goes way deeper, and it all ties back to a legendary sage. Turns out, the temple is named for the great sage Pippalada, a major figure who actually authored one of the Upanishads, these ancient philosophical texts that really dig into the nature of reality. And his birth story is, well, it's incredible. His father, also a sage, sacrifices himself for the gods. His grieving mother, pregnant, then entrusts her unborn child to the care of his sacred Pippala tree. And it's this tree, acting as a channel for divine nectar, that literally saves and nourishes the baby, who is then named Pippalada, in honor of the tree that gave him life. So we've got history and mythology all converging on this one single spot. But the story, it gets even bigger. So now let's zoom out from this one temple and see where it fits into a much, much grander cosmic design. According to ancient Hindu texts, the Ippili temple doesn't just stand alone. No way. It's actually one of 5 Shiva temples, known as the Panchalinga Kshetras, that were established by the deity Balarama to form a kind of divine shield around another, even more ancient temple called Sri Kurmam. And this grid wasn't some accident. It was a deliberate act of, you could call it, spiritual architecture. You can see how the 5 temples are strategically placed to guard that central shrine from every direction. And our temple, Ippili, plays this absolutely crucial role as the southern guardian. It's a key part of this celestial defense system. All right, this is where we get to the heart of the mystery. We've peeled back layers of history, mythology, and even cosmic geography. But the most mind-blowing secret of all has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, right inside the temple's central idol, the Shivalinga. See, the idol at Ippili isn't just any Shivalinga. It's a very specific type called a Brahma Sutra Shivalinga. And the question is, what does that actually mean? What kind of knowledge is encoded into its unique geometric shape? The key is its structure. The linga is intentionally, deliberately divided into 3 distinct sections. Each one of these sections symbolizes one of the great cosmic forces, represented by the Hindu Trinity. Brahma the creator at the bottom, Vishnu the preserver in the middle, and Shiva the transformer at the top. Okay, so let's start at the bottom. The base is a perfect square. This represents Brahma, the creator. Its 4 sides symbolize the stable 4-dimensional reality that we all live in. The 3 dimensions of space we all know, length, width, height, plus, get this, the 4th dimension of time. Moving up, the middle section becomes an octagon. This is the Vishnu part, the preserver.
Its 8 sides represent the 8 directions, which bring order to space, but they also represent the 8 fundamental elements of material reality, or prakriti. And that's not just physical stuff like earth and water, but also concepts like mind, intellect, and even ego.
And then, finally, we get to the very top. It's a circle, representing Shiva, the great transformer. But what is a circle? It's really just an expanded point, a bindu in Sanskrit. It symbolizes the single, solitary point of origin for everything. It represents that state of infinite density and energy that existed before the universe exploded into being. And when you put it all together, the parallel is just stunning. The linga is describing the process of creation, starting from a single point, the circle, expanding out through elemental forces, the octagon, and finally settling into a stable physical reality, the square. This is an almost perfect conceptual match for the modern Big Bang theory, a universe beginning from a single point of infinite density, a singularity, that explodes outward, forms the elements, and eventually cools into the stable cosmos we see today. So, what are we supposed to do with this? A stone idol in a tiny village temple seems to be describing the creation of the universe, thousands of years before modern science caught up. What does it all mean? And what is the legacy of this incredible piece of knowledge? Well, what it means is that the Ippili temple is so much more than just a place to worship. It's a time capsule. It is one single precious site that contains centuries of layered human understanding, from royal history and epic myths all the way to a deeply sophisticated model of the entire cosmos. And this incredible legacy was almost lost forever. The temple was badly damaged during an invasion in the 16th century. But the villagers back then, they understood how important this was. They actually managed to hide the original sacred Shivalinga, making sure that this profound knowledge encoded within it would survive for future generations, for us to rediscover today. This quote from the original source material just sums it all up perfectly. A visit to this place isn't just one thing. It's a spiritual journey, for sure, but it's also a journey back through our shared history, a journey in search of the very roots of human curiosity and our unending quest to understand where we came from. And that kind of leaves us with one final lingering question, doesn't it? The entire story of Ippili was hidden in plain sight, just waiting for a few curious students to notice a single stone. It really makes you wonder how many other secrets, how much profound knowledge left behind by our ancestors is still out there, just waiting for us to understand it?